In your struggle against Iran, you have made some unlikely allies. There is a kind of a tacit alliance between the major, what are called the moderate Arab states, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and others with Israel. Is that an awkward situation to be in, given that Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state? It practices many of the forms of Islam that people regard as highly puritanical, quasi-medieval, even medieval. They chop people's heads off, they chop hands off, they have laws about blasphemy and apostasy, not a lot of churches in Saudi Arabia, certainly no synagogues. How comfortable are you with that tacit alliance?
I see the world as it is, not as I'd like it to be only, or not as we remember it nostalgically, and I work from that premise. I think Saudi Arabia recognizes today that it needs a path to reform as well, and they see, as do many in the Arab world, that they see Israel as an ally rather than as an enemy because of the two principal threats that threaten them. The first is Iran, and the second is Daesh. If you're closer to the Persian Gulf, Iran comes first. If you move to North Africa, to Egypt, Daesh comes first. But there's always the second. And so when they look around and they say, well, who can help us in this battle that threatens our very future? Obviously, Israel and these Sunni Arab states are not on opposite sides, and that's natural. That, I think, tells you there's a bigger story. I said this yesterday. I went to, with my wife to a dinner, the opening dinner here, and I met some of our European friends, including members of the EU. And I said, look, I have one request, that the EU policy shaped in Brussels, not the individual European countries, but the EU policy vis-a-vis Israel and the Palestinians merely reflect now the prevailing Arab policy to Israel and the Palestinians. There is a great shift taking place, and it might be. We used to think that if we solved the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, it would solve the larger Israeli-Arab conflict. The more I look at it, the more I think it may be the other way around, that by nurturing these relationships that are taking place now, that could actually, with the Arab world, that could actually help us resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And we're actually working towards that end. And the most dramatic change, without a doubt, is the relationship that is beginning to develop between Israel and most of our Arab neighbors in order to fashion a Middle East free of the dominance of militant Islam. My father's generation was entrusted with regaining for the Jewish people what was lost in antiquity, that is, a state of their own. My generation is charged with protecting and nurturing what was regained. And in so doing, I think we can also change the world. The things that we're doing in Israel are changing the world. You know, they're changing it in medicine, they're changing it in communications, they're changing it in cyber, they're changing it just in so many things that can benefit our neighbors and the rest of humanity. To do all that, I have to make sure that the future of the Jewish state is safe and sound. That's my one goal. And I would like to be remembered as the protector of Israel. That's enough for me. Protector of Israel.
Mr. Prime Minister, pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.